folks. Welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing Fair Season 2nd Edition by Hector Reyes Jr. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. Fair Season draws the players into the world of Middle Ages historical reenactment and Renaissance fairs. In the midst of a dreamy and escapist week-long Middle Ages camping event, they will find themselves drawn into a series of strange supernatural occurrences, a quest that is spun from ancient primal magic and the very power of imagination itself, the dream. I'm August, and you can find me on Tumblr at Strange Harpy and at Blue Sky at harpydora.bsky.social, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today we have a special guest, Hector.
Hello, my name is Hector, aka Okami, all over the internet. I am a TTRPG game designer, actual play performer, and medievalist. Fair Season is a game that I designed some years ago, back in 2021. And I am excited to share the 2nd edition Ashcan version of it with you all.
Hell yeah. I am also joined by Shrog.
Hi, I'm Shrog. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on Blue Sky at The Secret Frog. I'm very excited to play this game.
I'm also joined by Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. You can find me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at SassyTale. And I use he, they pronouns, and I haven't done this in a while, so my intro is not as practiced as it has been in the past.
And bringing up the anchor position, we have Annya.
My name is Annya, my pronouns are they, them. I don't have any socials to plug, so instead I'm going to tell you about the last book I read. The last book I read was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and it is actually my first 5-star read of the year, so I recommend it.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Our lines, things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, specifically racially charged confrontations between men of color and white women, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, and plagues and pandemics. I almost said unwanted pregnancy, so that's where we're at right now.
Unwanted plagues and pandemics.
Yeah, we don't want those
we don't
either.
want any of those.
As opposed to wanted plagues and pandemics.
Yeah. Our veils, things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Content warnings for this game include alcohol and drug use. Now that we've got all that, let's get started.
Well, so I am your facilitator for Fair Season. And as we have broken down our lines and veils, one of the first things that we want to do when we come together at the table is figure out what is the event that we are going to be attending. First, we want to give the event an evocative name, one that evokes Middle Ages, history, or romance. What do we want to call this event?
You're asking the wrong people. We typically go through the entire freaking game without naming things.
Oh, okay. Well,
We are always bad at names.
you know what might help? Let's figure out what the event is. Do we want to do like a classic Ren fair? Do we want to do a fairy festival? Or do we want to have Anya and I kind of like take the wheel a little bit and do like a classic SCA war event?
I feel like from what I've heard of tales of like Gulf Wars and stuff, I think that a war event could be really, really fun because there's a lot of room in there for a lot of different shenanigans.
Yeah, like I have a lot of Fair Season was kind of written with like war in mind, but it's flexible enough to be other things. But I would totally be down to like get involved in war shenanigans.
Gonna have to have free Jello shot night.
Oh my god.
The best night of Gulf Wars.
Yes. The best part is that we used to do that, and we would put X's on the non-alcoholic ones, but then we would tell people that they were special.
Technically not a lie.
Technically not a lie, and people would act ridiculous once they tried them.
Wow.
Incredible.
It's like you're doing your own little science experiment with it.
Exactly. Like, a social experiment is what my camp called it.
Wow.
So let's see here. Kind of like Gulf Wars. Let's see here. We could call it we could be cute and just call it Follow War.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Just to keep it in line, make it ours, make it the podcasts. So let's have some fun and we'll call it Follow War. And then maybe it'll be let's spell it pretentiously with like an A. So it's like Fallow War.
Ooh.
And as with every event, we get to choose 3 to 5 aesthetics. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 of us. The simplest way to do this is for each of us to kind of pick one that speaks to us, or whoever, we just sort of pitch them back and forth. This is all collaborative. There's no GM here. So I'm just going to go ahead and read through the aesthetics, and then we'll just kind of, brainstorm through which 3 to 5 we would like. There's unspoiled wilderness, protected land, colorful pavilions, wealthy hosts, gracious royalty, rowdy pirate camps, thriving party culture, high pageantry, merchants' moonlight madness, torchlight tourneys, crowd-pleasing jousting, permanent installations, late-night taverns, fire-crawling performers, fireside drumming, family-friendly activities, frolicking fairies, and massive merchants' bazaar.
Can I immediately pick one?
Yeah.
So my fondest memory of war is always at the end of the day, you lay down in your tent and you just hear all the drums and everything. So I really want fireside drumming.
Yeah, I am down for that. Is everyone cool with fireside drumming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Are there any other suggestions that anyone would like? I've played this game 1,000,000 times, so I'm happy to pick last.
I'm gonna steal Rowdy Pirate Camps because I saw pirates on many people's key relationships.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Rowdy Pirate Camp.
That's where I was going to head to, so I'll have
I'm sorry for taking the easy one, August.
No,
It's okay.
it's all good. Is there any others that are speaking to you, August, that interested you other than Rowdy Pirate Camps?
I was also looking at frolicking fairies.
Love some frolicking fairies. So there's like a little bit of a fantasy aspect to this war, which I deeply appreciate.
I was gonna pick frolicking fairies, and now I have to pick.
Oh no!
Darn you, Shrug!
Alright, no pressure, but you do have to pick the one that Hector wants.
Oh gosh. The whole game is what I want.
yep.
Are you kidding me?
I really like high pageantry, but that's just who I am as a person.
Right.
I mean, there's always high pageantry at war. It's definitely a good choice.
Yeah, this is definitely
Mhm.
about like what stands out the most. So and this is just me being a little like self-interested because of like the kind of character I'm gonna play. I'm gonna pick fire crawling performers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So not only is there drumming, there's also people traveling from camp to camp, like bringing the flavor to and the entertainment to everybody. Like the entertainment comes to you. You don't have to go to a concert at night. People just
Nice.
come. So the reason why our lines and veils, aside from safety and communication, whenever you run fair season, dear listeners, you want to do your safety tools first because this game is also a social commentary on the SCA, on Ren Fair, and fandom in general. Every event has 3 issues, and the issues are mundane world problems that color what's going on at the event. And there are only 3, and I have a hard line in the game because they're all very heavy. And I am of the opinion that any more than 3 issues, regardless of whether you're running a one-shot or a long-term campaign, is not mentally healthy. And something else that I also kind of want to share, the fact that there are only 3 issues is aspirational.
Mhm.
And when I
Yeah.
read them all, you will understand why. Some of these we're going to auto skip over. But if it's okay, I will read over all of them on the understanding that some of them we're just not doing because we want to respect our lines and veils. So the issues are alienated French community, rampant cultural appropriation, which we won't be doing that one, authoritarian purity culture, reckless drug and alcohol abuse, non-existent youth activities, missing stairs, which we will not be doing, factionalism and cliquishness, favoritism amongst the nobility, hazing among fighters, event staff burnout, an unpopular monarch, lack of people of color, which we will not be doing, costuming elitism, classist behavior, institutional ableism, intergenerational conflict, volunteer shortage, and lack of new participants.
God, there's 2 that so work for my character.
Yeah. I was looking at one of them and thinking, Anya's character might be interested in that one. So I'm interested in the kind of tenor non-existent youth activities brings to the table.
Especially since we didn't pick family-friendly activities in our aesthetics.
True.
Yeah.
Can't have free Jello shot night and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so if we're all in agreement.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement. Typing that in.
Can I propose 2 different ones
Yeah.
and see if either of those speak
for
to
it.
people?
Yeah, absolutely.
This will tell you where I'm thinking about going with my character. Either event staff burnout or volunteer shortage.
Woo! Those are both good ones. Those are
Tell me what the word seneschal means to me.
exactly. I got you. Are there any other ones that the rest of the table are interested in exploring other than those 2? I think those 2 are great, and they go really well hand in hand. But I want to hear what everyone else has to say.
The one that spoke to me is definitely the reckless drug and alcohol abuse.
Ah,
Especially after talking about free Jello shot night.
right.
My God, I was always drunk at war, just constantly.
Yeah. Same here. Not in,
You don't go to bed sober.
yeah, it wasn't until I started I got older and I started taking like heart medication that I had to stop. Woo. And then Scrog, what do you think?
I like the three of having either event staff burnout and volunteer shortage. Non-existent youth activities was one I was also looking at. I am down for reckless drug and alcohol abuse. I don't know that any of the rest of them scream at me as needing to be included.
Yeah. Do we want to do a compromise and do event staff burnout? And I say event staff burnout and not volunteer shortage because, and this might be just the kingdom culture I came from, we have pirates. And where I'm from, pirates volunteer a lot. They don't carry cards, they're not involved, but they go to wars consistently and they volunteer lots and lots of hours.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, so I think that the rampant drug and alcohol abuse plus event staff burnout and non-existent youth activities is like a perfect like cauldron of pirate nonsense, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
We need to add I'm down for rampant drug and alcohol abuse to the FTL quote book, if there is one.
That's a good one.
Is that something you could actually put as an episode title, or is that going to cause you problems?
Oh my god.
It's a good question. August, that's a question for August.
It might be too long, but don't think I didn't think about it.
There you go. That's a Patreon idea, though. We'll put out a quote book.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the quest clock is sort of like gonna be our guideline, right? It's got like 4 steps. We're doing the one shot. And they're measured in hours. We're gonna do a day trip, which is the one shot. And the quest clock is so the dream, which was talked about in the intro, is this force. It's like this animating alien force that works on Campbellian logic. Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey. That's what I mean by Campbellian, because not everybody knows what that means. But it's a Campbellian alien entity, and it moves. And in order to kind of reflect its desires, we're going to move the story along with a clock based on a specific increment of time that the dreamers, which is us, is experiencing. And rather than tracking like exact time, it's going to track scenes that the dream is driving us towards. So this clock is split into, 4 ticks essentially. One is going to be morning notes, which is a scene of familiarity and play. This scene is going to draw the dreamers in and put them at ease, and that's usually in the morning. It's named after a Ren Fair term where everybody gets together and like gets told what we're going to do for the day. But it's just generally, like an opening scene. There's the call, which is a strange and supernatural event that tempts the dreamers to explore and investigate, usually around midday. 3 is the trial, which is a dangerous and direct encounter with a being born of folklore or myth, such as a fae, a ghost, a dragon, something straight out of the stories known by the dreamers, typically at nightfall. And then there's homecoming, which is a conflict is resolved or a truth is revealed, and the dreamers make their way back home. This is typically midnight or the witching hour, which is classically like 4 a.m. The dark hour before dawn. And this is a guideline. We can like mix it up, it doesn't exactly have to be those times of days, but we decide as a group when we've moved on to the next scene. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Okay. All right. So before we move on to our playbooks and our setting elements, I want to just kind of mention the basic rules for how we empower the narrative. Um, the way we move the narrative forward is moves. Every playbook has moves, and moves are ways of moving the narrative forward with intention, similar to Powered by the Apocalypse, except you choose your victories and your failures. You have strong moves, which is when your character is at their best, their most confident, their most elevated ideal self. And those cost a token. You have regular moves, which are just things you can do every day. Um, the default regular move is take action while leaving yourself vulnerable. And that's sort of a catch-all move that you can use to just sort of describe anything that fits in that description. But your playbook is also going to have, a list of regular moves. And these are really great for if you feel stuck but you want to do something, you can just use those as a guideline for something to do. Weak moves are when your character is their most anxious, they're their most emotional, well, not emotional, but like they're most harried, anxious, and you know, not necessarily their best self, kind of giving into their id, their like baser instincts, as it were. And these give you a token. Now, there is one other way to get tokens without having to make weak moves, because everybody starts off with 0 tokens, and that is the lure. Every single playbook has a lure, and the lure is a way for you to gain tokens by acknowledging the other person's role in the narrative. For example, Scrog, is it okay if you share with us the lore for the night?
Yeah, the Knight's lore is anytime a player character acknowledges your prowess or honor, they gain a token.
So, when someone acknowledges Scrag's character's prowess or honor, prowess meaning how good you are at fighting or how good you are at physical activities, or how good you are at something, usually has to do with fighting or some kind of physical activity, that player gains a token. So it's kind of like niche protection, some people talk about, or like genre enforcement of everyone else's role in the story. And so those are the basics. Now, all of us, instead of having a GM, we're all going to have setting elements. And setting elements are all different aspects of the setting that we're going to take charge of. And all of the moves and the setting elements are free. You can do them at any time. And one of the great parts about the setting elements is that when 2 characters or 2 dreamers go off to have a side scene, the rest of us can all still actively participate and interact using setting element moves. So no one is left sitting at the table with nothing to do. Do you all understand what I mean by that?
This might be the first FTL cast game where we actually remember to use our moves in a belonging outside belonging game.
Yeah. It's and it's great because like the setting elements allow you to create NPCs. They let you like interact with the settings. So like, it's really cool because it keeps the world alive and it keeps all of us engaged, even but also allows like 2 players to have like an interpersonal moment. Um, I hope that makes sense.
It absolutely does.
All right, cool. So I leave it to the table. Do we want to go over our characters first? Actually, no. Let's do our setting elements. What setting elements? So if you start with a setting element, you kind of have like first pick of like the desires. And of course, you want to check in with the rest of the table in case there's anything that, players are not necessarily like interested in, but that is the benefit of picking your setting element. So what setting elements are folks interested in? Mind you, you can put them down, you can trade them. There is the general rule of thumb. There's a list of trade away wins. But generally speaking, you don't want to interact with your own setting element. If you want to interact, if you want your character to interact with something, you hand it off to another player or you swap with another player. So what setting elements are folks interested in? And as your facilitator, whatever leftover setting elements there are, I'm happy to take all of those up.
Do we want to go over what the setting elements are before
Absolutely,
we...
absolutely. Everyone go ahead and just pick one. It doesn't necessarily have to be the one that you want to pick, but let's pick one and you read off the opening paragraph for all of our listeners. I'll go ahead and start off. I'll start with the battlefield. The battlefield is a place of bold adventure, clashing swords, and gleaming armor under the light of day. Vast armies of knights, soldiers, and mercenaries battle one another in glorious battle. It's a place where exciting jousting tourneys take place, where armored combatants upon horseback duke it out to crown their consort as the queen of love and beauty. After dark, it becomes a place of moonlit passion. Many folks come here for bawdy games, secret rendezvous, and smoke-filled late-night stargazing. The battlefield is a place where heroes are born in the light of day and lovers frolic under the light of the moon.
Hell yeah. I'll take Merchant's Row. The Merchant's Row is a hub of food vendors, services, performance stages, fortune tellers, and shops that serves as the central hub of the event. It is a colorful bazaar where all manner of treasures, relics, and gear can be found, if you have the money. Most vendors accept good old cash, but occasionally you may find a booth who engages in old-fashioned barter, if you have something worth bartering, that is. If you have a song, a turkey leg, a meat pie, armor, garb, or perhaps a seedy secret, Merchant's Row is the place to find it.
And I'll take the forest.
All right.
The forest is a place of winding paths, babbling brooks, and ancient magic. Only the strangest and wildest of folk brave the forest during the event after the sun sets. Legends say many people have disappeared among these ancient trees. Yet if that were really true, why is the event still held here? Bards would say all stories are true, but not all stories are factual. Such is the case with the forest. The old magic lives here, with a promise to make all your deepest dreams come true. Retreat into its branches at your own risk.
I'll read off the populace. The heart and soul of any event is the people that attend it. That is the populace. They are folks from many walks of life who come together over a nerdy passion to recreate history as they feel it should have been, rather than what it actually was. While in the real world, these folks are laborers, white-collar professionals, college students, and service industry workers at the event, they are kings, knights, minstrels, heralds, yeomen, pirates, courtesans, sultans, princesses, barbarians, magicians, and many other things, as the sky truly is the limit when it comes to Middle Ages that never really was. The populace are all your closest friends and all your greatest enemies, all in one place and ready to play.
I'll do the encampment. The place we all call home, at least for the next week. The encampment is a place of both rest and festivities. During the day, it's a place of eating, drinking, and camaraderie. When the sun goes down, it is a bustle of activity, big feasts, roaring parties, bardic circles, drinking games, drum circles, belly dancing, visiting friends, and all manner of carousing and sometimes debauchery. Then in the early hours of the morning, as the fire embers die well before dawn, all retreat to their tents for a night of much-needed rest. This is the encampment, and it is home.
And I shall read our final setting element, the dream. The dream is an esoteric concept, a manifestation of the collective imagination of those attending the event. When this energy came in contact with the primal and ancient magic residing in the forest, it became something more. The dream has gained an alien sentience that drives it to use its deity-like influence over the concepts of narrative and mythology to drive its devotees, the dreamers, to accomplish quests. For what ends is unknowable by the human mind, but can only be resolved by human action. So, what setting elements are we feeling like we would all like to start with?
I'm definitely interested in the forest.
Right? How about you, Sam? What do you think speaks to you?
The Merchant's Row speaks to me, for sure.
Right?
I am swiftly backpedaling away from the battlefield, hearing that your character should not be involved necessarily in that place.
Oh,
The setting element that you
Right,
take.
right.
Right, maybe I shouldn't take the Merchant's Row then.
Well, typically, like the setting elements like echo the playbooks. So it's okay to start with it. You can just switch it out later.
Got it.
For sure. I might snag the encampment.
Ah,
How about you, Anya?
I guess the dream.
oh, cool. All right, so I will take. I think I'll take the populace. And then I'll leave the battlefield for whoever wants to pick it up later. When the battlefield is picked up, we'll pick desires for it then. But for now, let's go ahead and pick some desires. I would like to propose for the populace that it's going to be fun and entertainment.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I think that for the Merchant's Row, I like the idea of trade and gossip.
Ooh.
Fun. I think for the forest, I'm going to go with the desires truth and reverence.
I'm going to be difficult. I have an author question about the intent of the desires.
Yes.
Should we pick things that aren't necessarily going to be everywhere else at this event? I am gesturing broadly at drinking.
Oh.
If we've already established that we have rampant alcohol abuse,
no. And
does it make sense to pick drinking as a desire?
Actually, they're supposed to sync together. So picking drinking for the encampment would make sense because the idea of rampant alcohol abuse is that it's turned up, unless you wanted to go for something like this is a sober camp.
Okay.
Because the encampment specifically represents where this group of dreamers is camping.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely. I think I'm going to go for respite and midnight snacks as the desires. That just sounds fun.
In the first edition it used to be midnight. There's a move in here called declare it it's time for midnight snacks. It used to be midnight hot dogs, and then I realized that was or midnight grilled cheese, and then I realized that is very camp specific. So, but
Now I want grilled cheese though.
It's very specifically evocative though, is the thing. I do like that.
And then what are we thinking for the dream?
I know excitement is one of them. I think I'm going to go with creativity and excitement.
Nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into our playbooks. I will go first with what playbook I'm playing. I will read off the opening paragraph, and then I will tell you about my character. How does that sound, everyone? And then we'll just go around in a circle.
Sounds good.
That seems reasonable. Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be playing my favorite playbook. This was actually the second one I wrote. The first one was The Knight, just to give you a little insight. But my favorite playbook is The Bard. The Bard is a performance artist who holds in their heart the collective lore of the dream, be it through storytelling, song, theater, music, dance, or poetry. All bards use their voice or movements to weave tales that live into eternity. Bards are carousers, often found with a lute sitting by a fire and a full tankard of spirits next to them. In the real world, bards often work in the performing arts, such as drama teachers, professional performers, or the GM of their local tabletop gaming group. All bards find a way to use their creativity in their lives outside of the dream. My character is the lovely, lovely Iris. Pronouns she, her. Her look is that she has beguiling eyes and a shapely form. Her gender is rose and bloom. Her garb styles are a flatteringly fit surcoat and a colorful coin sash. Her performance art, which is a playbook specific trait, is dance. Her signature piece, which is another playbook specific trait, is a captivating beat that encourages all with the capability to get up and dance. Her two key relationships are an enchanting belly dancer with a heart of gold and the Pirate King's mistress. Her lure is when someone displays affection or appreciation for you, they gain a token. And that is the bard and my character.
Right, going down the document. My character is the Knight. The Knight is an athletic, driven, courageous, and honorable individual. They love to fight, either on the tournament field in intense one-on-one duels, or on the vast battlefield among shield walls and clashing swords. Some knights enjoy both, figuring the more fighting, the better. In the real world, knights come from all manner of different backgrounds, but all long to embody bravery and the warrior spirit, so many knights are military, firefighters, or activists. My character's name is Kay, their pronouns are they, he. Their look is cautious eyes and tree trunk arms. Their gender is a lightning bolt. Their two garb styles are sturdy leather boots and a cloak with a steel penannular. Their specific questions, they have a fighting style, which is sword and shield, and they have a virtue, which is justice. Their two key relationships are a pirate drinking buddy and the fighting marshal. And as stated previously, their lore is anytime a player character acknowledges your prowess or honor, they gain a token.
I am playing the Artisan. The Artisan is a craftsperson and artist. They pursue the dream via studying and recreating the artworks of the ancient past. They take on tactile endeavors such as tailoring and pottery to create beautiful original works and remarkable historical recreations. These skills put them deeply in touch with the old ways of folk magic. Artisans covertly insert their intentions and wishes into each creative project they build. Artisans in the real world are often people who work with their hands, such as carpenters, stockers, warehouse workers, or professional costume designers. My character's name is Garion, bringing back an old favorite. Garion uses he/they now. His look is an energizing presence and an astute gaze. His gender is silver thimble. His two garb styles are a boldly colored reversible buttoned coat and custom-fitted boots. His craft is fiber sorcery and tailoring. His spell, which is now the specific stuff, his spell is good fortune. Two key relationships are a knight with artistic talent and my beautiful muse. My lore is anytime somebody praises my craftsmanship or artistry, they gain a token.
All right. I'll be playing the Seneschal. The Seneschal is the authority of the event. They have helped organize everything using a combination of organization, leadership, and logistic skills. Seneschals pursue the virtue of service and have a passion for facilitating others' pursuit of the dream by making events go off without a hitch. However, as they have to wield authority and responsibility to enable everyone else's fun, seneschals are often always on the edge of burnout. In the real world, seneschals often work in customer service, insurance, or management. So, my character's name is Aurora Chamberlain. Uses she, her pronouns. My look is tired eyes and rail-thin frame. Gender is sand in an hourglass. 2 garb styles, a hooded reversible cloak and a silver circlet. Authority is event. Expertise is logistics. 2 key relationships are my friendly deputy and the court herald. And my lore is anytime a player character respects or defers to your authority, they gain a token.
And I will be playing the newcomer. The newcomer is experiencing the magic of their first event. The dream is shining and new in their heart, even though most of the time they have no idea what is going on. Newcomers are often dragged along by a close friend, loved one, or significant other to their first event. They haven't really found their place in the community yet, but what they lack in knowledge they make up for in energy, enthusiasm, and wonder. In the mundane world, newcomers could be anyone from anywhere working any job, yet all tend to have an open mind and a desire to explore the unknown, so many of them are college students. I'll be playing Parker Young, pronouns he, they. His look is wide eyes and a jolly build. His gender is weekend pirate. Their 2 garb styles are flowy pirate shirt and utilikilt. For the playbook specific traits, his potential is fantasy book fan, and his tool is first aid kit. Their 2 key relationships are the old woman who runs the loner garb booth and the pirate king's cabin boy. And their lore is when someone takes you someplace new, they gain a token.
Fantastic. So, in order to kick off our story, let's go ahead and get into our questions. Typically, you ask one left and you ask one right, as if we were all at the table. And August has been amazing and has already set up some fun behind-the-scenes ways for us to be able to pull that off. So we'll go ahead and do it in the same order. So I'm going to be asking Kay and Parker my questions. Okay. All right, here we go. Kay, my question as Iris to you is, when did you know you were in love with me?
I mean, I think it had to be around the fire, right?
Okay.
We've well established the vibes here.
Was it when he saw her dancing?
Yeah, I think that was absolutely it. Just dancing in the firelight.
Hey, no, we don't want to get copyright claimed.
No, we don't.
I didn't say
Oh,
anything.
we were just hopping. Okay, that's so cool. Okay, I'm excited. And my second question to August, when we stayed up until dawn, what did we talk about? Or Parker, rather. Excuse me, Parker. When we stayed up till dawn, what did we talk about?
I think I asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up, when you were little, and that sparked a discussion about not just like our dreams we may have outgrown, but what our dreams are now. And we just kept going, and not just oh, I wanted to be a doctor, but now I'm trying to be this. But it also came into a discussion about like, well, if you had $1 million, where would you go? Where would you visit first? that kind of thing. And it just, kept spinning out into wilder and wilder what ifs.
That's so cool. All right. I have asked my questions.
All right, Iris. Motherfucker implied. How did you feel when you saw me at my most vulnerable?
I felt connected to you because often knights are like these big, strong guys that don't. I felt like I saw a softer side of you. And I really, really felt more deeply connected to you in that moment, that you would trust me.
And Garion,
Yes.
why do you consider me worthy of knighthood?
Ooh. I think that your virtuous spirit and protective nature make you especially well suited to knighthood.
Excellent.
All right. Kay, what gift did I craft for you, and how did it make you feel?
I think you made the cloak that is one of my garb styles.
Ooh.
I think it just immediately made me feel more... It's gender affirming for knights.
Hell yeah. Aurora, are you threatened by my artistic talent?
Ooh.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
You may.
How long is this your first year doing the war, or have you been doing it for a long time, or just a few years?
I think it would be interesting if I had been making things for war for a long time, but had not personally shown up myself yet before now.
Okay. Then, am I allowed to say, no?
Absolutely.
That,
Of course you're allowed to say no.
Absolutely. Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier, is that it doesn't have to be the answer it feels like it's leading into. It just has to be an honest answer that is true to your character. So you can say no.
I think no, because Aurora would probably see you as an asset to Merchant's Row. And I don't know if you plan on teaching any courses or anything, but I feel like that would be something that Aurora would be grateful for, as someone who has to find people that make the event interesting.
Awesome. Cool.
All right, well, right back at you, Garion.
Hello.
On a completely opposite note, why do we keep clashing with one another?
Why do we keep clashing with one another? I would say that we keep clashing with one another because although it's my first time here, I have expectations of what it should be like. And those expectations of what the fair, of what, I guess it's not really a fair, it's a war.
The war, yeah.
Yeah, my expectations of how the war should be and how it is are very different. Because I've only attended fairs, and this is not a Ren fair. It's a very different vibe.
I love that.
It also lines up with my real life experience, because I've been to lots of Ren fests and Ren fairs, but I've never actually been to an SCA war. Though I've wanted to.
They are fairly different, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Parker, our newcomer, how did we become such close friends?
What is Aurora's biggest hobby outside of the SCA?
I'm looking at both of our characters to see what might be the best thing to say about that.
Yeah, because I'm gonna play Parker as like a college student, but I get the impression that Aurora is probably older than Parker. So I was thinking,
Oh, sorry.
I was thinking that we could have met with some shared hobby.
Yeah, also, so like, I joined the SCA in high school while a lot of my friends who had already joined it were already in college. So by the time I was in college, they were now adults. Or well, we were all adults, but they were like real world adults. So it could be something like that too, where it's like, I was like maybe a senior when you were a freshman or something.
Oh, yeah.
But also, for a hobby idea, I don't know. Do you have any ideas off the top of your head that Parker does? Because otherwise I was just gonna be like, maybe go into a trivia night.
What about an anime club?
Okay. Yes.
So we met an anime club and we bonded over a shared dislike of Dragon Ball Z, which isn't
Oh my
something that
God.
I share. I like Dragon Ball Z, but I don't think Parker would like Dragon Ball Z.
That sounds great. And is it I guess it was probably a college anime club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Aurora would like Dragon Ball Z. It takes too long to get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Aurora. As your best friend, why has it taken this long for me to come to an event?
I may have been shitty. I think maybe I took a lot of my burnout and frustrations out into the real world with me, and so I might have complained about it, which, why would you want to go to this thing that I'm complaining about? And so, for the longest time, you just saw it as a thing that, like, made me miserable.
Whew. Oh, just
Hooray.
coming for me.
I've never been a seneschal, but I've been friends with lots of them.
Mm-hmm. This playbook may or may not be based on people I knew.
And Iris,
Oh, okay.
how long have we been dating?
Whoa! Ha!
Mic drop.
And
Aha!
the drama has begun.
Yeah.
think we've been
We haven't even started playing.
I think
Sorry,
we've
go on.
been dating for 6 months. I think I'm the reason why you probably came to the event.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you said you got fantasy book fan, right? So we met
Yeah.
at like a book signing for a famous fantasy author we both like. We hit it off, got coffee, and during one of our dates that you were like getting to know each other. It's like, oh yeah, I do the SCA, and you were like, oh, my friend Aurora does that, and I'm like, oh, you should come to War. And I was the one that was like, your friend didn't tell you about the parties, did they?
Please tell me this is your first event, like a fucking war
Yeah,
as your first event.
That's what the newcomer
Yes.
playbook is supposed to be. Yeah.
Oh my god. That
Yeah.
would be so much.
Yeah. Yes.
Poor Parker, just a babe.
Yes. This is so great. This is gonna be
Can I tweak one of my answers?
absolutely.
Eh?
I think my answer to Iris still stands. But I don't think I knew that in love was the category that fell into emotionally. I don't think I'm gonna realize that until tonight when I see her with Parker.
Oh.
This is so fantastic. We have our characters. We have our connection.
To be continued.